Welcome to another hill test with Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig, and we've got a wonderful test today. The main line behind me here is going to be a problem. We're going to get into why, but it's surprising because it's a world-renowned platform known throughout the world as the Land Cruiser. All right, Brian, what do we got?
That is the 2024 Toyota Sequoia Platinum flavor. That's what we have today, which might be an issue. Let's just get right to it. Let me show you why. Come down here, Craig. You see this nose that's like already chewed up real bad before, well, it left the parking lot from Toyota probably. That nose chin is kind of like the one on the new Tacoma. It's just too freaking low. Now, the reasoning why is for MPG, we're told, which, okay. The good news is it can be unbolted very easily. There's just a matter of bolts on the bottom. If you own this, you could take it off. If you get stuck on a trail, you can take it off. Also, it's very forgiving. So if you do bump into a curb or something like that, it's fine. My concern is that this rating is approach angle of 15 degrees. For reference, a Volkswagen Jetta is 15.1. Ooh.
Yeah.
So that mainline hill test has a 53-degree incline at one point, which means this is just, I'll be honest, not happening. We're gonna try it anyways, and we're just gonna make sure it's not, but most likely we're gonna be doing a hybrid line. And what I'm a little bit concerned about, Craig, is the TRD Pro gives you multi-terrain select, it gives you crawl control, and it gives you a lock-in rear diff. This gives you none of that because it's not the off-road trim. So be all fair about that.
You get the bones, but none of the goodies.
Right, exactly, Craig.
Yeah.
You get the iForce Max, which has a ton of power. It's over 400 horsepower and 583 foot-pounds of torque. That is a lot. And you get 4 low. So you get a proper 2-speed transfer case. When the hybrid tech should help us crawl really easily, we'll see in a minute, I'm not sure. But we're gonna do the hybrid line, I can tell you. It's already gonna happen, and we're gonna get crossed up, and that's where you're gonna have an open diff situation. There's also no off-road modes in the drive modes. So there's not like a snow or a loose gravel and that kind of stuff that would help you gain traction. Let's just see what it does. We're gonna try it out.
To be fair, as competitors, Tahoes, and Expeditions, a lot of them have just 4 high only. They don't have the 2-speed transfer case.
Right.
Every Sequoia with 4-wheel drive has a 2-speed transfer
That's
case.
a real good point, Craig. You don't get 4 auto, but you do get the bones for high-low, which is really nice. Also, its competitors, most of them don't have a locker. Ford has one in the Timberline, and it's optional. And then I think it's the ZR or Z71 and AT4 don't have a locker. So you can get it. Keep in mind, this is not the trim for it, but like we do in all of our SUVs and trucks, we do the hill test no matter what. So I would call this a win if it can do the hybrid line. I would call it a fail if it can't. It's obviously going to do the bypass line. I don't think it's going to do the main line whatsoever. Something else I want to point out, I don't know if you can see it in here, Craig. Look down under that rear diff.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You know what that is? That's a 10.5-inch ring gear. That's what that is. And it's got the third member style, like an old Ford 9-inch design, except bigger and beefier. It's also semi-floating, which means this thing is, well, this spec is really for towing. That's what this one is. It has the air leveling rear suspension. Let's talk about that. We do have air ride in the rear, which means we can lower the rear to help the approach angle a little bit. And then once we get up on an obstacle, we can raise the rear. Let's see if that helps us. Let's give it a shot.
All right, Brian, we got some goodies. As you mentioned, not a ton, but we do have a few to play with. And what are those, and what modes are we going to attempt to mainline in?
So in terms of drive modes, I'm going to show the people real quick what we have. We have Custom, Sport Plus, Sport S, or Sports as it looks, Normal, Comfort, and Eco. And I'll be honest, we're going to leave it in Normal. There is no off-road spec, but what we do have is traction control, which is both traction and stability. We're going to turn that stuff off. We have 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. And like we always do, we start in the least capable mode and work our way up, showing the system's use. As we get to that hill test up here, which I'm really nervous about with that front chin, which we're not unbolting, by the way, because that's how it comes from the factory, we do have manual control on the rear air ride, and we're going to lower that rear as much as possible, which will make the front of the truck pitch up a little bit. So let's see if that helps us. I don't know. We're going to give it everything we can to try and get up the hill. That's what that means.
So it could work. The AVS may come into play, the rear air suspension. Doubtful it'll help a lot, because what we really need over here on this side is we need about 20-degree approach angle to get up and over that without messing things up. And as Brian said, we only have about 15 to play with here. So that's going to be an issue, but let's give it a shot and see what happens. You can see that chin already really low. Starting to lose a little traction here in 2-wheel drive.
No slip there.
Okay, Brian, what we got going on here is
you're slipping too.
It looks like you're maybe two pedaling it, but we're just walking sideways a little bit, so we're gonna have to go to the next little goodie, which is what?
4 high. I do have the rear down as low as it can go, according to the dash. I'm not sure if it's actually, it takes, the system takes a minute. I'm trying to raise the nose to give us the best chance we have going up this hill. It's now in, it's flashing, so let me reset in 4 high. Let's try that again real quick.
Sounds good. Already doing a little bit better without losing traction. And so there's the problem we have. We're just not gonna make it with, let me see if I can show this real well, hang on. This is the problem. It is just right up against it and it's crushing and not going to work. And it's forgiving to that point, but then we don't want to rip that sucker off. It is not ours, and so we want to be mindful of that.
Hey, let me show the people real quick too. We got something going on here. So the trans temp, just for reference, the trans temp has gotten really high. It's not into the warning section yet, but I haven't seen it this high the entire time we've had it. And it's not giving me any warnings on the cluster to like stop. But the trans temp is concerningly high. So
yeah, definitely higher than we'd expected. So what we're gonna have to do here is, we're not gonna make the main line without ripping that front off. We could unbolt it, maybe.
Yeah, if we owned it, we would do that, but we test these as they come. So
what we're gonna do is we're gonna try the hybrid line, try to help it get up and over that so that it doesn't rip the front off. See if that works. So in the hybrid line, we're gonna try to help it up and over here, and we'll see if that does enough. He's gonna be in two-wheel drive. I don't think that's gonna work. Just not enough control. Okay, going to 4 high? Okay, you're gonna try 4 high here.
hey, we turn traction on.
Are you gonna turn traction off?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're still in 4 high. We're gonna turn traction off.
On.
Oh, on.
Yeah.
See if that helps.
All right. Okay, the trans temp is real high again. It's almost to the red. What we're gonna do, it's actually just came down 1 notch, but it's almost to the red again. I'm gonna go to 4 low to try and keep those trans temps down and also give me a little more control. And I'm gonna put traction control on to try and get the computer to
well, we'll let you do that because usually 4 low turns it off.
Oh, you're right. Now it's all off. No, it's all off. Let's just see what happens.
Now, I will say this, the front bumper is still gonna be a little bit of an issue.
Really?
You can help it walk up a little bit more.
So be more aggressive on the cut? Okay. Well, you tell me when you want me to cut hard right.
All right, so we're gonna try 4 low plus cut a little bit more to help that bumper up and over and see what that does.
That bad?
Okay, so the problem we have, Brian, is we just have 15 degrees of approach, and that's just an issue.
It's just that bad?
It's just not going to get up there without ripping that thing off.
Okay.
More than we'd like to. You definitely had more control for low there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's zero doubt with that, bolting that off.
The bones are here. Well, actually, there's not zero doubt because these tires are not off-road tires, which is not this car's fault. But because there's no off-road mode to try and control left and right braking, I don't know if it's going to make it cross stop.
That's a good point. So what we're going to do now is let's try a 2-wheel drive on the bypass line.
Yeah, let's give it a chance. I'm still on approach, so let me know.
Yeah, okay, we'll keep an eye on it. So we're going to go just straight to we couldn't make the main line, we couldn't make the bypass line without ripping the front nose off. We're going to try the bypass line, which still has a pretty good breakover, pretty steep incline. We're going to try that in 2-wheel drive and see what that does.
Okay, let me turn traction on. Traction on now, that was off.
Okay, traction on. See if the computer can help it up. to the same spot. Oh, it got past the spot, and it's still climbing. Traction's still helping. And as you can hear it going back and forth, and it is not happy. Okay.
Yeah, that was put to the floor.
That's just not going to work. You could hear it trying to go side to side. It was really doing it everything it could.
So a lot of smoke over here from the tire. So I was trying to feather it in, and it would take more throttle. So I was trying that because once it got stuck, I tried to just try something different. Wasn't enough, so we're up to 4 high now.
Up to 4 high now.
Yep.
Okay.
But the approach works.
Yeah,
here?
approach is fine here.
Okay.
And so this is a bigger test of breakover more than it is approach. That's why this is the bypass line.
Hey, trans is at the red mark now. Hey, we're at the red mark now. It actually touched the red on the trans temp over here.
But no warning lights.
No warning lights.
Okay. Hit the driver thing on there and see if there's any system vehicle alerts. Okay.
No. So it's not out of its warning zone. It's just letting me know, hey, we're getting up there. So
it's in its operating range.
It's in its operating range. I'm going to watch that. If it hits the red mark, I'm going to call it.
Okay.
Okay.
We're low would have helped there, but we got enough breakover. We're good.
Got it. Okay.
All right, Brian, so we sadly had to use the bypass line. The rain is just now coming in.
Yep.
But it did work. We had the breakover. We just didn't have the approach, and that's why we had the bypass line.
It's a bit of a bummer. I'm going to call it an actual fail for this because it's a full-size, full-frame vehicle, and that nose just makes no sense. The Tundra has one that can go up.
Yeah.
And that would have worked, I think.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
But it is still America's Land Cruiser, and you can get a TRD Pro, so just keep that in mind.
There is that. Thanks for watching. We got more hill tests coming your way. We test them all with our crossovers, sometimes just little hatchbacks.
Yep.
We're going to test it. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching the Texas Truck Channel. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yep.
That's what keeps these videos coming. If not, it's hard to do these. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. See you guys.